And the disaster begins. A live show today, ladies and gentlemen. The Poor Man back on the air here. Drive Time with the Poor Man. Ripping it up today. We got a lot going on the show. Later on, we got restaurant critic Peter Dills. He's going to be coming on and doing a giveaway. So if you want to win some free food, stay tuned for that. Also, we've got a brand new feature called Hater Bro. Yes, we have a feature about all the wonderful haters that seem to follow me around wherever I go. A little glorified feature today, starring none other than Pat Matthews, who filled in for me yesterday. Also, Huntington Henry and Scott Monroe Inman. So stay tuned for Hater Bro coming up in a while. But let's start off. As usual, we are now the official radio show of YouTube. If you tune in to Drive Time Radio with the Poor Man, every single day we will have a YouTuber that is going to be a guest. And today I am happy to announce, and I hope I pronounce his name correctly here, the amazing Yash Qaraah. He has a YouTube site. It's YashQaraah. And at the headline, it says, Yash Qaraah, Behind the Industry and Building as a Profile. Yash has 25,000 subscribers. He has some very interesting videos. Yash, it is an awesome pleasure to welcome you to the show today.
Thank you so much, Poor Man. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, now, just as an intro, kind of explain to everybody what you're all about.
All right, I'm Yash Qaraah. I started probably 10 years ago on Blog Talk Radio. I host my own radio show. And basically, I started putting videos together on YouTube. And it was about my life in the industry and trying to show folks what it really takes to be of the industry of wealth, to be well known, to hit the top 20 or top 10. So it went from there and it escalated to where it is today. It's gotten pretty large because people taking my voice and put it over a lot of commentary. So in a synopsis, that's it in a nutshell, but it's a little bit more, but that's just a brief.
And the thing is, you even, as I understand it, there's a lot of things in society you don't trust. And even YouTube, you're not so trusting of putting your message on YouTube either, right?
Yes, sir. And the reason for that is, like I said, I've been doing social media for about 10 years. And why that is, in the past, I've had a run-in with putting concert videos up. And I had over 1 million people that was following. This is not my first rodeo with YouTube. And YouTube seems to not like that in their community. They like to see pranks, and they like to see sexual behavior videos, such as twerking, et cetera, et cetera. So when I was doing contests and talking about a lot of things that matter, political as well as industry-wide, it was kind of taken down, and it left me in a bum situation where I decided to take a break off, come back, and then form my own networks, which I have 3, by the way.
Yeah, you know what, Yash, is it possible we could take a quick break here? Because for some reason, your connection, I'm not understanding you as much as I should with whatever the connection is. Do you think you could recall in maybe on a landline or something of that nature? Is that possible?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm calling you from a technical iPad. I call through a cell phone.
Now, Yash Qaraah is our YouTube star that is on the show today. Every day we start out the show with a YouTube star. That's where it's all happening, folks. Get used to it. YouTube is a place to find lots of great, interesting people like Yash. He's back on a better line, I guess. Thanks for doing that, Yash.
Oh, you're welcome. Are you able to hear me now? Getting it kind of clear?
Way better. Way, way better. So, again, real quickly, explain what your YouTube channel is all about and what you're all about.
All right. YouTube basically is a platform for social media. Basically, it is what it says. It's YouTube. It puts your information out there, what you feel that you can do, whether it be prank, whether it be dancing or whatever. Mine is conscious thinking about letting people know what really happens if you want to be famous in the industry or you're trying to get demos out there. That's the life I led at one time. Also, radio. I incorporate radio with YouTube because everything goes through social media with my Spreaker show. So when I do radio, on internet and streaming. It passes down through YouTube. Basically, it's a white audience that wants to hear a lot of things that's not being said, because a lot of people, once they're in the industry, they're forbidden to talk about the things I'm talking about, because I never signed a contract and I never took any oaths. So basically, in the synopsis, I'm about telling conscious things of what I've been through and realistic things that you can pretty much Google and find out on your own if you did a little research. But I incorporate all my networks, which I have 4 networks that I incorporate with social media.
So basically, Yash, you're saying that YouTube has predominantly a white audience, and I gather you're not white, and you think that and then you said something before the first break about how you had millions of people following you on YouTube, but somehow they took your channel off the air. Explain what you were just saying about all that.
Yeah, for us, YouTube is very diverse, and I don't like it when people put race in the equation, because at one time I was on that trip about race myself, being of ignorance. But it's not a race issue. It's basically a people issue, but the politicians that control us as individuals and make all our rules and regulations, they keep us apart with race. Before YouTube being bumped off, it was a termination thing. It was meaning that they call it hate speech. So whenever you say something that's derogatory and rough language and rude language, and talk about things that shouldn't be talked about as industry, as being signed, and how to be famous, which you have to do rituals to be famous, they are not having it. The community that works for Google goes around and they'll flag your site, and pretty soon they just terminate you because they call it hate speech. So that's it in the synopsis.
What do you think? I mean, obviously, I don't want you to get into it too much, but what do you think you said that caused you to get terminated by YouTube?
Well, it wasn't what I said, it's what I make. I'm a documentary filmmaker as well, composer, documentary radio host. So like I said, when you put videos together and you show people how, and you're taking that walk through the industry, you're showing them, okay, you want to be famous, you want that top 10 record, you want all of these millions and people screaming your name. Well, it comes at a price. Everything that you see on television is not what it plans to be. You cannot be famous, you cannot have a household name unless you go through these guys of the industry, the executive producer, who are the so-called Zionists that runs everything. Now, having said that, when you touch on this and make films about it, they cannot have that. They won't allow it. As long as it's fun, booty shaking, and it's just rap music, they don't care about all that. But they don't want truth, because most Americans are dumbfounded. They believe what they see and read on television, and that's just the truth.
Yeah, by the way, I thought you said white, and I was clued in by our buddy Ian that you said wide. I apologize for that. So yeah. I heard that wrong. But yeah, and that's what, you totally, wanted to, as you just mentioned about being famous, you feel that in order to get famous, there's an agenda out there that you have to follow. I'm gathering.
You have to, there's no other way. It's funny to me, because I remember I was on that kick at one time. I was in the 80s shopping my material to Warner Brothers, and as time went on in the 90s, I went to ATL. I met a lot of great people, but I thank the Lord today I never got signed. And I was offered 3 deals, by the way. So make a long story short, there is no such thing as it just happened. There's no such thing that, okay, you got a hit record. There's a reason why they have a one-hit wonder. Because those people did not take the oath, they're not doing the rituals, they're not doing blood sacrifices, and they're not willing to do anything to make $1 million. Let me give you something else, Mr. Foreman.
Okay, by the way, somebody just texted me and they said you have to sell your soul.
Well, they're on point. But let me just give you a synopsis of, let me just show you just not the industry. It's everywhere. Let's just say, for instance, you came up with a patent, okay? And your patent was saying putting a zipper on jackets. Yes, I know we have that, but we're just making an example. So let's say you came up with this patent of making zippers on jackets, and it was a household hit. Hell, it's worth $1 billion. Everybody is ordering from China to Costa Rica to anywhere in the world, Kuwait. Everybody wants this zipper. Well, if you made $10 million in advance with just on your own merits and talent, they're going to railroad you in. They're going to invite you to the lodge. If you refuse to come to the lodge, they're going to come to you. And if you keep refusing their letters, they're going to put all your money, they're going to freeze your account. I don't care if you got an offshore account, because the brotherhood is everywhere. They're going to freeze your account until you admit and join their team, which is the brotherhood of the third-degree Masons. And that's just the way it is.
All right, we're talking to Yash Qaraah, YouTube star. He's got 25,000 subscribers on YouTube. He also does blog talk radio. He's a radio guy, just like the poor man. And I'm going to get into it a little more with you right after this. We're going to talk about a subject you're very much into, Sodom and Gomorrah, how the USA is becoming Sodom and Gomorrah, and also have we as United States citizens lost our Miranda rights? So can you hang on, Yash, and we'll be right back with you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as Drive Time Radio continues with the poor man. Beep. Mr. Announcer Pat Matthews, the host and future of the show, actually put some horns on our bumper coming back. So good job, Pat. And we're with YouTube star Yash Qaraah. I shouldn't keep saying YouTube because he's also in radio, he's in film. We're finding out a lot about him. Interesting guy. By the way, yes, Pat still is a producer. And don't forget, we got the Hater Bro segment, the first ever, coming up after Yash goes off and continues to kick some big butt. But in the meantime, Yash, you feel the USA is becoming Sodom and Gomorrah. Explain what you mean by that.
Well, pretty much they are. Sodom and Gomorrah was two kings that allowed any and everything to happen among them, because they didn't believe in righteousness, they didn't believe in law, statutes, and commandments. They believe a man should be with a man, a woman should be with a woman. They should believe a man can worship a child and have sex with that child. They also believe in bestiality. Well, Americas have developed the same era as Sodom and Gomorrah, as ancient Rome, and now she's become Babylon, as the scripture speaks of. 2016 brings a crazy year for those who have churches. All of those folks who receive 501c3 must abide to the affidavit that the Masons are sending them. They will let folks come to any church that receives funds from the 501c3 and marry their pet. This is in 2016, by the way. That's being hidden under the table. So, Americas is not trying to be Sodom and Gomorrah. They are Sodom and Gomorrah. They do everything in a ritual and subliminal. It kills me for gay folks to have this so parade of themselves and throw it in your face like, now we can do anything we want. We can be anything we want. How long have the Indians suffered and had their land taken for casinos, and they still trying to get reparated for it? Well, if we want to talk about reparations, we want to even bring the Negro in this. We're going to keep it on Sodom and Gomorrah, the two kings. So the question is, here we are, 2015. Who are the two kings today? Poor man, I'm asking you, and I'm going to answer it. But who are the two kings today that run the Americas like Sodom and Gomorrah?
Oh, man, I would guess that the President of the United States and the Congress?
You're correct, half correct. The two kings that are running Americas today is Obama and Michael.
Oh, who's Michael?
Michelle Obama. She's a transgender. That's
Okay.
one of the reasons that Joan Rivers had to lose her life, because she told the absolute truth. There's no history of this person. There's no history of her legacy. There's not even a history of that woman being pregnant who's now transgender. What I'm trying to tell you is that you're looking at the Antichrist. All of these things are being implemented through our president, but being bagged up through who? Bloodline. Remember, you cannot be a president unless you're a bloodline. You can't Watusi yourself in there because you've been good to the people. You have to be a bloodline. And these people meet at the Bohemian every year in June, and they're power hitters, and they drink blood, and they perform sacrifices, just like they do in the industry. America's, everybody want to be like her. As the book of Revelation speaks, they want to be like her. Why do everybody wants to come to America? For the dreams? Nah. They want to come to America because they put a woman over a man. Why do they want to come to America? Because here you can be anything and everything is acceptable. Why do they want to come to America? Because everything goes in America. You can be rich by calling yourself gay and being humiliated, and they will comfort you with that. Meanwhile, we have more things to worry about, like our children being targeted with Satanism and Florida with books that they have to learn about the devil. Why?
Because America's Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, if you can teach about the Lord, you ought to be able to teach about Satan. This country has fallen on all fours, and yet we still want to fight about foolishness, but nobody's stepping up to the plate to fight about what's real.
Are you saying that Michelle Obama is a transgender?
I'm saying it. I'm sticking to it, and yes, I said it.
And the president, I'm guessing, no, you can't trace his bloodline as to where he was even born. And what you're saying, they actually have rituals where they drink blood, the president and his wife.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if you Google bloodline and rituals, you'll see that most of the people like Madonna, the high up, she worshipped the Kabbalah. All of these celebrities wear a thing like a red bracelet. It's not even a bracelet. Michael Jackson wore it as well. Well, those rituals indicate that they're blood drinkers. If you ever saw the movie called Hostel, and if you haven't, please rent it and go see it. Those things absolutely happen. They kidnap folks and they do rituals. It's just like they're satanic, they're sick. They can't have sexual pleasure. They have to see the death in your eyes. And when you die, they drink your blood. They even eat flesh. I'm going to throw you a whammy. Half of the food that you eat at McDonald's is children's flesh. Now, this has come out in Google all over the place. But we don't want to believe that McDonald's would be so little and poison us with flesh. Yet, McDonald's fries is made straight from chemicals and garbage. But hey, people still eat it, right?
Hey,
So
Yash,
the thing is,
where? Excuse me for interrupting. Where does McDonald's get the flesh of the children? Do you think?
they got the flesh from the it's from the Zionists and the synagogues. The synagogues are the so-called Jewish. They call themselves Jewish because the esh means doesn't contain to. They're not the real Jews. They know who they are. That's why they refer to themselves as the synagogue. Did you go to the meeting at the synagogue? When you have time, go to Google and put in McDonald's sells flesh. So all the recording of the rabbi who's of the synagogue, he's explaining that no one's going to believe you. No one's going to take you serious because they're too dumbfounded. We'll tell you the truth over the air. And they did tell the truth over the air. This is Google, and it's proof. This man did a radio interview and told all. But nobody wants to believe truth because it's just too real. We rather believe lies. And that's what we at in the Americas.
So we have less than a minute left, but where do you think that the Zionists slaughtered live children so they can send the flesh to McDonald's to be served as Big Macs?
It sounds funny, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, but listen, I'm not putting you down for that. I'm curious, honestly.
They do it in dungeons. And poor man, if you don't mind, I know you got a minute left, but before we leave, I have to plug, if it's okay to plug my website, because we don't.
Yeah, please. In fact, because they can find out more of what you're speaking about. Please do that, Yash.
Okay. Hey guys, if you're interested in hearing who I am, and all of my networks, please go to 7stage. That's the number 7, and put stage STAGE.com. 7stage.com. All
right, Yash. Listen, and Yash Qaraah spelled YASH. Qaraah. It's been an honor and a pleasure. I'm glad you agreed to come on. You're a fascinating guy, and I really appreciate you coming on today.
Anytime. Just let me know when.
All right. Okay, Yash. Take care. And we continue here with Drive Time with the Poor Man. Steve wants to ask me about the show, and also we're going to have the Hater Bro segment coming up next as we fly on. Later, Peter Dills. And last but not least, I've got a Would You Do This for $1 Million?